Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Depending on what time you're watching this, where you're from, it should be Monday sometime. Unless you live in Australia, maybe. A little bit different. But welcome to Ravenport, and welcome to this little interesting little video I want to do. I know there's been lots of videos out. There has been, I mean, everybody and their sister's cousin's ex-boyfriend's roommate has done a video on this. But I wanted to approach it by a different way because I'm a console player, first and foremost. And I wanted to show how this is going to work, how I think it's going to work. I mean, how it's set up right now to work on both the Xbox and the PlayStation. Of course, I am on the PC right now. I am on the beta version of it. But in my hand is an Xbox controller. That is what I am using. No mouse, no keyboard, no joysticks, no fancy equipment. I am just using a Xbox controller. The only difference my controller is, and I'm sure that a lot of you have them, is the extra little trigger button on the handle on each side. So I do have that, which is programmed in here so you can use those buttons. But you don't have to have those buttons. Let me clarify that. Let me also clarify that this is not out on console. This is still the beta PC test version that I have here on the PC. But the whole point is I wanted to show you that every single command, every key for the console is already programmed into this beta version, so it does work using a Xbox PlayStation controller. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, I play on the PlayStation, so I'm more familiar with the PlayStation controller. I have that here sitting next to me, so I'll try to go back and forth between the two, so those of you will know. But you know, the PlayStation controller, you hit the big center button, that'll go up the store. The Xbox, you hit the little one there. So that opens up the store. And as you can see, you know, all the commands, all the Xbox commands are on here right now at the moment. So left bumper or left one, R1 is going to toggle between the store. So basically just like it is now on the console, you have the brands, tractors, trailers, objects, placeables, and of course now the new one will be the landscaping shovel at the end. So basically to hit A or X, depending on what you know, A on the Xbox controller, or A on the Xbox controller, X on the PlayStation controller, opens up the menu. And here I've been playing around with it a little bit to familiarize myself with the setup. But let me just go through the main menu. On top here you have two objects. I'll use my mouse here to show you. You have sculpting and you have painting. Come on, stop, mouse. Stop. There you go. Just stay there. I don't need you. Sculpting and painting. So let's go through sculpting first. And the help menu is up. And let me just make sure that I click on it so all the Xbox controls come on. So there you can see all the different commands for what you want to do using the Xbox controller. To change between sculpting and painting. Now, on the fancier Xbox controller, you have that little finger tab on the handle. That changes between the two. You can also do that by pushing down on the L3, the mushroom, the L3 mushroom. You push down on that, you can change between sculpting and painting. So let's just go first with sculpting. Now, if you push down on the R3, that changes from the square pattern here, and I can zoom in here, between the square pattern and the bubble pattern. To zoom in is the D-pad. You can zoom out and in using the D-pad up and down. Excuse me. To move the camera around is basically the same thing as we always do, is using the R3, the mushroom. L3 is going to move your object, you know, side to side, front to back. So let's go through the, I think that kind of covers everything there. You can change the size of this bubble by going up and down on the R3. You know, forward, backwards on the R3. That changes the, they call it the brush size. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you see brush size 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So that's going to change what the impact you're going to have. Okay? So, basically A. Now, if I was to hit A on the Xbox controller, it'd be X for the PlayStation, is going to raise the terrain. So there I am, basically just raising it up like that. B on the Xbox, or circle on the PlayStation, is going to go back. That's just going to take me back to the store. Now, if I hit X on the Xbox controller, I can lower the ground. Just like that. Pretty simple. If I hit Y, is basically going to smooth all this out. So you're going to get rid of all the rough edges. You can just kind of smooth this out. Just kind of like that. There you go. Make it nice and smooth. That's what that does. I'm going to zoom in and out of here a little bit. So yeah, so just zoom. There we go. Smooth it all out. You can do whatever you want. Now, if I hit R1, is going to flatten. So basically, you're just going to kind of flatten area around where you've already done. I will tell you, it is a little jerky. It's not as smooth, but it's going to flatten all the area around where you're going. So basically, if I just go over here and if I raise something up, and now if I flatten it, it's just going to keep flattening the area around where I'm going, so to speak. So for example, let's just say you wanted to place a raised building. I'm going to raise this up here just to make a bigger imprint. So I'm going to flatten it out. It's going to flatten out there. Let me raise it up here real quick. So I want to raise it up. Now I want to flatten the area. I want to make a bigger little hill. So I can do that like this. So as you can see, this field is at an angle, you know, going downhill. So it's flattening it out and making a flat surface for you to build on. So there you go. So now you could place a building. So let's just go back here and let's just place a, let's place an animal pen. And like I'm just using the Xbox controller here. A cow pasture. Can I fit that on there? Maybe that's too big. Oh, there it was going to work. There we go. Whoops, what did I do wrong here? Come on. There you go. So there's a cow pasture on our flat surface. Let's go back into the landscaping there. So there's our cow pasture on this flat surface. So that's raise and lower. It's pretty simple. A raises and X is going to lower it. Plain as day. Smooth, of course, is the Y. That's just going to kind of smooth it out. So if I wanted to go here now, just hit Y, and I can smooth out this rough edges, you know, kind of make you can make kind of gentler slopes by going up and down it. In my opinion, just kind of making it a nice, doesn't look so Minecrafty. Can I say that? Is Minecrafty a word? I think it's a word. I'll make it a word. It's a word. Yeah, a lot less Minecrafty. By just doing Y. There we go. Kind of all the way around. Nice little gentle slope there. There you go. If you keep going more, you know, you'll take some of that edge off. So there that is. So that's that. Let's see. So that's basically raising, lowering, smoothing, and flattening. As you can see, all the Xbox controllers are in here. It is working on an Xbox controller as I speak. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Now, so that's kind of the sculpting. I'm not going to go into detail. There's plenty of videos out there. You've probably already seen it. I'm not going to go into detail. But my whole point of this was to show you that the Xbox controller is programmed in here. It does work using an Xbox controller like I am right now. Going over to the sculpting, you can change that by pushing down on the L3. Now I got into the painting. So basically what you're going to do is you can change any kind of... This is like the, you know, in FS19 they had the little roller that you could change all the texture. That's what you're basically going to be able to do here. Now, kind of the first thing that I want to say is you would change the landscaping mode. And how you would do that is by the D-pad. Left and right on the D-pad. There you go in the bottom right-hand corner. I can change the texture of the ground just by using the D-pad and going there. So let's just try this one here. Let's see, I want to... That's L3. I want to make that a little bit lower. And let's just say I wanted to make a path, right? So here, A is paint. So I'm just making a path coming up there like that to the road. So that'll allow you to do that just by pushing A. Of course, B or circle on the PlayStation controller is just back. That'll take you back to the main store. Let's see. What else can I show you there? Everything else is the same. Camera, the radius is the same. Moving around is the same. Camera zooming is the same. Switching the ground type is there. Changing the size from a circle to a square is there. That's pushing down on R3. L3 is going to change from sculpting to painting, and changing the texture is going to be the D-pad left and right. You know, so they have all kinds of different textures in here. This one, you know, kind of looks like a gravel dirt road. This one here, a little bit of a lighter shade. Then you have, you know, so you have all these different textures that you can choose from, almost a sand kind. And then you got kind of like maybe the pavement. You know, I don't know what this one is. That one's just kind of weird. It almost looks like a, I don't know, like a rocky surface. Kind of interesting. This one here, that one kind of looks like the same too. Not the biggest fan of those ones, I gotta tell you. That would almost be like an asphalt pavement kind of thing. Same as that one here. Well, that's more of a grass. And then, of course, this one, I kind of like this one. This is the grass gravel combination thing. Grass there. This is more of a sand, almost like an Estancia La Pancho kind of ground there, maybe. I don't know. But you know what I mean. That's just basically you can paint the ground. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's how it's going to work. So everything that you've seen on the PC, you know, the keyboard and the mouse, I'm sure maybe a lot of them use an Xbox controller. But my whole point of this is that it's already programmed in here to work on the Xbox controller. All pretty simple. There is no fancy key combinations. You know, you don't have to hold down L1, R1, and square to make something work. I like how it's laid out. I think it works pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it, it should be pretty darn simple. You know, A on the Xbox or X on the PlayStation is kind of your main activator control for what you have selected. B on the Xbox or circle on the PlayStation, which kind of always is back, takes you back to the main store menu. So that's pretty simple. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to do, just to explain to you that it does work on the Xbox. So, and how I think that it's going to work on the Xbox and the console version as far as the controls are concerned, as far as what you can do, because you can do the exact same thing on the console as you can do on the PC. So there's nothing on this PC that I can only do with the PC control. Everything I can do with the PC, I can do on the Xbox control, if that made any sense. Maybe a little long-winded, maybe a little pointless, but that was my whole purpose, is so you could see that it is already programmed in for an Xbox controller. And all the keypad functions are programmed in. It does work. It works just fine. I'm using an Xbox controller now. But anyways, hey, thanks for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. I hope this comes out on console soon. I am so looking forward to this. This is definitely a game changer. No questions about that. Yes, probably should have been in the base game when it was released, but hey, you know what? We just kind of have to go with it and just be thankful that we got it in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you happen to like the video, give us a like. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that as well. I would appreciate that. And have yourself a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon. So long.